Hello, happiness abounders, and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today on this very, very special episode. It is episode 365, which is just so cool to me that if you started listening to the podcast or watching on IGTV now, you would have a podcast episode every day for an entire year, which is just so exciting and cool. And it could not have been done without all of your kind words of encouragement and wonderful support. So thank you so much for joining me today and on any other episodes you've listened to. If any of these episodes have changed your life or even changed your thought process and you've enjoyed them, please leave a review on iTunes or on Facebook. It does wonders for other people finding the show, and let's go look forward at creating another entire year's 365 days worth of content. So let's dive into today's topic, which is all about wrapping up social self-care, which is part of this is managing your relationships. Now, whether it's a spouse, a partner, a family member, a friend, or an acquaintance, we all have to spend some time managing our relationships. We all have to spend some time really honing in and understanding that some relationships, and in fact all relationships, will dwindle and die if we don't invest our time in managing and supporting these connections in our lives. So if you remember, yesterday's episode was all about connections, making sure you have a group of people that you can connect with deeply and in person. And I think part of that goes into managing those relationships, right? You have someone you can connect with, you meet in person, you have a great alignment with one another, but how can you manage that relationship to continue to have it flourish and have it be a part of your self-care routines? For me, funny enough, going back to the episode on Wednesday, I calendar it in, right? I will reach out to individuals that are in my top 5, right? Ooh, call back to like MySpace time, right? Top 8. But no, I will take time and reach out to those people who are my 5 people, and I will set up time to meet with them, to connect with them. And everybody's busy. We know that. But what if we could add to that busy and just have some of those connections? So for me, I don't ask a lot. I will just say, hey, let's set up a time like once a month where we go get brunch. 2 hours out of the entire month, but it forges these very deep connections with these people that I truly care about. And I find that it's my form of social self-care in a way that I'm not getting any other time. So it's whether it's going out to brunch or getting a light dinner or going and seeing a show or walking around a conference or a fair or an exhibit, whatever it is that could be for you and your group, go ahead and try it. Now, here's the thing I tried to do, and I think it's worth trying again, but I would host like girls' nights. But what I found was that different individuals that I wanted to connect with, I was trying to connect with them all at once and have them forge deep connections, and it just didn't work. So instead, I opted to do one-on-one brunches and times, and so usually almost every Sunday, I have something going on where I'm meeting one-on-one with the individuals in my life that I truly care about, and I'm managing those relationships. Now, I think the important one to mention here is this is like, I'm talking about friends, I'm talking about family, people like that. But it's crucial to manage your relationships with your partner or your spouse. It's crucial to have those honest conversations. It's crucial to spend that time together, to go out and do something fun, do something novel. Do something that excites you and is a connection and experience you both can share. When you can manage that relationship and those situations and experiences with one another, and by manage I mean have them, set aside that time, it can really transform your relationship. And I think if you are married or in a serious relationship, you may know that when your partner is not happy or is going through something, you're kind of going through it too. So how can you have that social self-care in your marriage, in your committed relationship? And that's really a key component of social self-care. Taking a hard look at the relationships you're in, seeing if they add value, and seeing how you can add value back, how you can forge those deep connections, create experiences and moments of alignment, connection, and conversation. Now that goes across the board, but especially with your spouse or your committed relationship partner. It can make such a difference to your happiness. Now, it's very rare that I actually talk about my relationship with my husband, and I think on podcasts that I've been interviewed on, I've only spoken about our story or some components of our story once. Check out the Turning Point podcast episode with me, Taylor Proctor, and you can hear all about that. It's the Turning Point podcast. Kind of a cool interview I had the chance and opportunity to do, and one of the, like I said, the few times I've spoken about my own relationship. But really interesting. One of the reasons that I started this happiness journey, and one of the reasons I'm able to create 365 episodes, is because of the full love and support of my partner. Full love and support of my husband's spouse. My husband's spouse? My husband, who is my spouse. And it's because he's always honest with me. We have great communication. We hang out as often as we can. We are two very busy individuals, but we are always supporting one another, always having communication and conversations and honesty. And one of the reasons I started my happiness journey was because my husband called me out and said, you know what, you're not as happy as you used to be. What's going on? And because I was able, and because he is able to manage our relationship with one another as a form of social self-care, social in our own household, my life has transformed. Now, obviously, I have done a lot of work. I can't give all the credit to him, but it's because of his support and his love and his honesty and his respect that I am where I'm at. And so managing your relationships and setting yourself up to have those strong, committed relationships and conversations is huge to your happiness. Going back to what I mentioned yesterday about being part of groups and having connected relationships, if you didn't hear that, there is a study done by Harvard University over 75 years. And they found the key indicator to happiness overall is your strong relationships. Now, I believe that first relationship that needs to be very strong is with yourself, which is why up until this point, I haven't focused on other people and your happiness in any way, shape, or form. It's all your own mindset, your own habits, your routines, your goals, your social and normal self-care. Your normal self-care, and now we've gotten into social self-care. That's because I think the relationship with yourself is the most important. However, as the study shows, having those committed and aligned and very connected relationships in your life can have a huge impact on your happiness and help you combat loneliness, which I think so many of us feel in this day and age. So as we wrap up our week on social self-care, I just want to say thank you for tuning in to 365 episodes. Thank you to my husband for being so awesome and supportive and helping me on this journey. And thank you for listening. As we wrap this up, I want you to consider how you manage your energy, whether you can say no or yes, and if that's organization and expectation correlated. Put things on your calendar, set aside the time, look for those deep connections and relationships, and then make sure that you're able to manage those relationships. Now, I'm not saying this from a sense of pressure, but it really is a form of self-care to invest a little bit of yourself into someone else and get that reciprocated. So that said, have a wonderful day. Thanks for celebrating 365 episodes with me. Again, if you like the show, if any episode has resonated with you, I would love to hear it, and I would love it if you would be willing to share it with other people. You can do that in a very simple way. Go to iTunes, click the 5 stars, or leave a written review. And or if you don't have iTunes, you can do it on Facebook. Go to Happiness Abound blog on Facebook, go to reviews. You can also tap a 5-star and leave a review there. It would mean the world to me, and would also help other people join our Happiness Abound community. So that said, have a wonderful day. Remember your social self-care, manage those relationships, and above everything else, remember, you are capable of happiness abound.